everybody. Eric here, driver lineup, world's okayest steering wheel holder, and currently parked at the world's okayest truck stop, the Iowa 80 truck stop, which is difficult to be at when you can't afford anything inside there. Oh boy, there's so many things in there, and I just can't afford any of it. I'm short like one t-shirt. I'm on my way to, at some point this weekend, pick up some things because I'm woefully ill prepared. It's like 58 degrees here in, where is this truck stop? It's Walcott, right? Iowa? It's like 58 degrees, and that seems cold to me. I'm so ridiculously deacclimated to cold weather. If you guys, longtime subscribers, you'll remember that I did a video a couple years ago after a winter where it had warmed up to like 45 degrees, and I was outside in a fleece, loving it. But man, I am so not prepared, and I think going through a winter in Texas has really messed me up for this, because I think this is going to be really hard for me. So I have no winter clothes whatsoever. None. I don't have my boots. I don't have beanies. I think I have gloves. I think Jenna packed my gloves. And Jenna told me, she was like, you need to just go ahead and take this stuff now. And I was in a hurry. I had to go to orientation and all that stuff. So in my mind, I'm like, I'll come back, deal with it later. And of course, freight's been great, so I've just kept running, and now I'm up against the clock. And because I've known that I'm going to pick up all my winter stuff, I haven't done laundry. I just let it pile up, and this is a clean t-shirt I have on. The last clean pair of jeans that I had, I put on after I showered last night, and then it was pouring down rain when I left the truck stop, and I'm parked way out here because I got here last night. And if you're familiar with the Iowa 80 TA, you can generally find parking almost any time at night, but you're going to be way out here by the shop and the truck wash, which was fine walking in, but when I came out, it was pouring thunder, lightning, pouring rain. So my clean jeans are still wet this morning. They were still damp, so they're back there in front of the fan drying off. So I'm sitting here in jammy pants. So I'm like really out of everything. So I was in there last night. I was looking at t-shirts and stuff. I'm like, I just need to find one t-shirt, and the only t-shirt in there that isn't like ridiculously expensive is a world's largest truck stop t-shirt. I don't want to wear a world's largest truck stop t-shirt, and I ain't gonna pay $26 for it either. So I don't know, man. Like I'm like 1,400 miles from home. Can I make it on this t-shirt? We'll see. But man, everything is always expensive in there, but holy shit, man. Basically any nice hoodie in there is going to cost you $50 or more. And maybe I'm just not adjusted to the brave new world we live in, but I just cannot, even if I had a bunch of cash to throw around, I cannot find comfort in paying $50 for a truck stop hoodie. I just can't. So anyway, they did, if you haven't showered here in a while, they remodeled the showers. I don't know when that happened, but man, they are nice. They're the nicest TA showers I've ever had. It didn't used to be that way. I showered here like a year and a half ago and found it unremarkable. But last night, man, I had shower number 20. It was freaking nice. Super clean, very like fashionable, trendy, comfortable. So it was just really nice. And then I'm headed over. However, I can't leave just yet. I can leave here in 30 minutes because I gotta go drop off at 90. Which, by the way, those of you who guessed, is it Mastronardi? You are correct, and I love picking up there. It's not technically Detroit. I said Detroit, but it's not technically Detroit. But there were quite a few guesses in the comments that it was Mastronardi. I think I'm saying that right. In Livonia, or is it Livonia? Which to me is close enough. For anyone who lives in Detroit, it's probably like, that's not Detroit. To me, close enough. That's Detroit. But yes, that is what I'm hauling, which means the reefer does not shut off. Those of you who pick up there, you know. It's a very sensitive freight, and not very heavy, but very sketchy. You need to use some load locks on some of those loads. And they had a load lock in there, but I put more load locks in there because I'm like, I don't know, man. I drive a Freightliner. I'm not comfortable with all that stuff staying the way it's supposed to stay. So, but they're generally great paying loads, not heavy. This one was 15,000 pounds, I think. So I was very happy about that. But that's my fleet manager setting me up to head south out of Iowa, which I really hope I can offload at this 90 and then immediately go pick up whatever that might be. I'm assuming it's going to be beef or something like that, meat going south. So I'm going to do some more videos on industry stuff. Now, there was a comment or two of like very accusatory, it's actually very insulting, saying that I was ripping off content from other people. I don't know what you're talking about. I mention Freight Waves all the time. I didn't click the link to the other YouTube video because I only watch like a few Prime drivers, and that's it. I've way cut down my YouTube subscriptions. But if you're wondering where I get the information, I mention this in YouTube all the time. I read Freight Waves every single day. Every day. Sometimes it's extremely frustrating because I don't think they put enough trucking news. You got to sort through all the other BS. It's not BS to other people that are in those parts of the industry, but like ships, containers, they basically cover all transport, all freight, rail freight, all of it. But Sonar and all that data is on. Like if you subscribe to their newsletter, they've got a couple YouTube channels, and then you just follow their stuff religiously. You'll know all the reports. You'll know all the tender rejection rates. You'll know the volumes. There's some stuff on fuel prices there, but there's some other good websites where you can track fuel prices and where it's headed. But it's not like, that's pretty readily available information. So I don't know what you're talking about. But if you do want to know like how to track that stuff, I highly recommend it. Go to Freight Waves. I think they have a trucking category, and they have their reports that come out there as well. And you'll be able to kind of track and pay attention, especially if you drive for Prime, pay attention to what's happening with your loads. It's a little bit easier for me because I have multiple trucks, so I'm able to see 3 times as many loads each week as someone who has just one truck. So I have a really good, understanding of kind of a good picture of what's happening week by week on freight. So there's that. Let's see, what else have I missed anything? Oh, man, there were so many things I was going to talk about. I need to do a video on the challenges and risk of building and running a fleet, especially a private fleet, especially right now. It's a scary time. Let me just say that. So that video is coming, but it's a scary time. Jenna and I know multiple private fleets that have just poof, gone. Turned in all the trucks. that's really sad. Some of them, a couple of them we know really well, and it's really sad. There's a lot of private fleets that have folded up shop, and it's tough. It's tough. I mean, and again, I'm going to do a video about this probably next week. But you know, a couple weeks ago I talked about how the cost of everything is up. You know, 30%. Like, and there were some people disputing me. Just look at Blue Beacon. When I stopped driving full time, it's probably a year ago, a washout was $37.50, I believe. $37.50, I think. A washout is now $45. So you're looking at literally a 30% increase, roughly, in 1 year. I mean, I can give you tons of examples where it's 20, 30%. Load locks in this TA, 30% higher. Hoodies in this TA, 30% higher. So if it oil changes, all three of my trucks are kind of having to do their services all at the same time, which sucks. I've got to get chassis lube and a DOT inspection on this truck this month. But I've had oil changes, I've had filter changes, all kinds of stuff with all three trucks. All of those services are way more expensive, and I have to do them times 3. So the revenue is not increasing 30%. You know, it's kind of sad when we see $5,000 gross to a truck and think, okay, thank God, you know, we crossed the $5,000 mark. But that's kind of sad because a year or two ago, $5,000 was still possible on a solo truck when all the costs were much lower. So you're definitely going to see less to your pocket now, for sure. But the gross to the truck has not increased 30%. The average gross to the truck has not increased 30%. Certainly the average net to the truck has not increased 30%. So, you know, I'm getting a call here. So that already could be problematic if you have just one truck. Imagine that times 3 or 4 or 5 or 7. Scary. And if it all happens at once, and if one of your trucks is parked for a week or taken out of commission for a week, or worse, 2, man, it is a hard climb to get out of what that can create. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I'll talk about the absolute. It wasn't just a hole that I got into over the winter or in the spring of this year. It was a crater. I mean, it was like asteroid the size of a football field hit the planet. And I was right down at the bottom of that. You know, it was just a mountain of things that piled up all at the same time. And look, let me put it to you this way. When I was in orientation, I think it was like the week after orientation this time, I believe I was like $7,000 in the hole. So that's where it can get to. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. And that's one of the most common questions I get sent to me is, I'm thinking about starting a private fleet. Any advice you would give to me? And man, year and a half ago, I'd be like, go for it, you know? Now I'm like, wait and see, man. Wait and see. Unless you're prepared to withstand the repercussions of the risk involved, it may not be a good time, because it is very, very difficult. I'm not saying it can't work, but you have to be extremely involved. If you all recall, last year I had very little involvement in my fleet, very little. There was rarely ever any conversation, like they were just on autopilot. Now I'm involved and communicating with my drivers all the time, daily. I've got group messages with them and giving them updates. I'm helping them plan their what kind of loads, when to get the loads, where to try to take the loads, when to say no. Very, very involved, and I have to be, because that's the only way to make it work. I mean, it's just a whole different animal now. So we will definitely talk about that and have a video for that in the coming days. And then Jenna wants me to share a story about some things that I dealt with when I was not driving a truck, which I'm hesitant to do, but I think you'll probably all enjoy, so I'll probably do that as well. So we got a lot of videos coming up. I just need to have time to do it. All right, that's my check-in for today. What is today, Wednesday? Yeah. So I hope everyone's having a great week. Enjoy the rest of it. Be safe, make good decisions, and always drive and thrive. I'll talk to you soon.